Surface is high-performance, salon-exclusive hair care that respects personal health and... Hello there, I'm Jen Kelly, Surface Specialist here. Going to be teaching you today the crop haircut. I've got Teresa, my model here. She's actually already on Awaken hair care products, so we've gone in and done prep work of a shampoo and conditioner. I'm actually going to follow through with just our Awaken drops, kind of part of her routine, so I want to stick with that for her as my guest. So we're going to go in and just put that right on the scalp, and then I'm going to grab Bridget over here. She's going to be the roadmap for all surface haircuts. We always typically start in the black zone. I say always and typically. Black zone is going to be where you get the most height and the most lift out of your layers. So you're going to kind of want to isolate that area first. Then your green zone, then you have your red zone. Here goes right behind that ear and in the temples. Usually you have the least amount of hair to work with in that area, so hence why it's red, needs to be a careful zone. Then your blue zone right back into the nape. So we'll kind of use that as we go through, and when I talk about the zones, then you kind of have reference here to what I'm speaking of. So to go in and find the black zone, it's always going to start with the high point of the head. So just take the top of your comb, top of the head. It's going to be real easy to find that particular front portion of the black zone. Then we're going to go to the side ridge. The easiest way to find that is going to be take your two surface combs, edge to edge, and go in. And where they meet, that is the side ridge of the head. And with shorter hair, you don't always have the luxury of clipping the hair out of the way. So you just want to do real clean sections. We call it target parting. So when you go in, you never want your comb to leave the head. So I'm going to go right over here on the side. I'm going to draw my line. So I've got my black zone already figured out now. I'm going to go in and begin in the very center of the black zone. I'm going to pick up my first piece here. Never want to take a section wider than the tool you're using. So in our case, it's going to be a Surface titanium razor. So we're going to go in and just come straight up and just shatter, shatter, shatter that out. And that's going to be our guide that will follow us through the entire black zone. So we're going to go back. It usually takes 2 to 3 sections within the center of the black zone down. She's got a little bit finer hair, but now thanks to Awaken, it's growing. So I'm going to take 3, and then number 4 is where we're going to stop. You always want to stand directly behind the section that you're working with. Shatter that out. So I'm going to come over here to this corner section and take a piece of the center of my black zone over to the front corner and go and shatter that out. So this can be 2 to 3 sections. Typically it's kind of a little corner piece, but it's important that you stand directly behind that section. Any variation in length will follow you through the haircut and could potentially be in trouble later. So we come right on over here to this corner of our black zone. Come straight up, shatter that out. So we're going to carry through a piece of our black zone into our green zone. So now that I've got my entire black zone done, I'm going to go through and just take the front ½ inch portion and carry that into the green zone. We're going to be working always short hair for long. So I'm going to go in and start across the head here, taking a part of that black zone like we mentioned, and we're going to come straight forward. Index finger on our razor, kind of like a scooping like motion, very fluid like motion. These razors glide right through the hair. We're actually going to grab some Trinity Protein Tonic here, kind of keep the hair really nice and hydrated. This is a great cutting lotion. If you're not using it already, you should start. This is a good daily use for home, for guests as well. It puts in the hair equally moisture and protein. So it has a keratinoid with protein that goes in and really continually builds the hair, added strength in. So I like to pair those two together, especially with the Awaken and Trinity line. They really go hand in hand well together. So we're going to kind of come forward here, just shatter that forward. She's a great example of why the red zone is going to be really important for us to kind of watch out for, so we don't damage that perimeter. We can't go back and add any hair to it. So I'm going to be real mindful of that, cutting a little bit longer towards the face here to personalize it just for my guests. Forward here. Okay, so now we're going to go in and take that green zone. We're going to take a ½ inch of that down all the way around, kind of like a halo or a horseshoe shape. And what that's going to do is give us a guide for the entire red zone and our blue zone. Now I mentioned she likes to part going to the right, so you always want to start on your lighter side. So I'm going to come right over here at the front of this red zone. grab my first piece. We're gonna be doing descending layers. So I'm gonna grab my guide, find it right there, and so shadow that right on down. This is kind of a funner haircut. If you wanna go asymmetrical, you most certainly can. You don't have to, but typically you'll wanna go a little shorter up and around the ear. You can kind of really personalize it for how you see fit. You'll notice we don't really include the perimeter too much, especially when we get back to the nape. We're gonna go back and detail that out later. We're gonna work our way all the way around, still being really mindful of that red zone. We're gonna enter into the blue zone here in just a minute. And what's gonna happen then is we're gonna come directly from the crown right down into the nape and work continuously around the head back into the opposite red zone. So we're using Surface hair care products today. They totally respect personal health and the earth, and they're also salon exclusive. So those couple of things really make us stand out. And the products all work amazing. They do have a core cutting system that Surface has designed as well. So they have 5 basic haircuts, and as well as the roadmap, which you've just seen here on Bridget. And so it makes it really easy to kind of go in and teach this to someone else who's not aware of these haircuts, because we have a really easy system to follow. So you'll always hear us talk about the green zone, the black zone, the blue zone, and the red zone, and then the haircuts themselves. There's different kinds of layers. So like I said, we're doing descending layers here. We can also do ascending or concave layering. You'll see me do some detailing a little bit later on. We'll do some vertical and horizontal framing, and then a little bit more piecing out down around the neckline and up in the bangs. So we're still working our way around here. Blue zone is your largest zone, so you gotta kind of take your time and work your way through. It could take 2 or 3 sections just to get down, depending upon how much hair you want to work with at a time. Okay, we're approaching that red zone one more time over here. So I'm just gonna pick up my green zone, leaving that 1/2 inch that we spoke about for my guide. Make sure it's still intact as I comb that out of the way. We're gonna go in here. The nice thing is you can always regroup. Starting and stopping a haircut is very easy when you have a plan. We're gonna go and shatter that out. This is a really great thing if you wanted to leave this side being the heavier side for her specifically. It'd be a great place for you to decorate your haircut with if you added highlights, maybe some fun sparks or poppers, just to kind of give some color in there. So you can kind of keep that in mind as you're designing your haircut. Think of the head as a whole. That way you always kind of have your end result in mind, and that's how we should work all the time throughout anything we're doing here. They are coming out with quite a few techniques that actually mirror and match the haircuts that we have here at Surface. So it kind of takes the guesswork out of where your hair is going to lay. And one thing that you should know is you always want to have short hair support long hair. So when you're doing your haircut, you might place those pieces in there strategically, just for that reason. You also want to cut in the direction you want the hair to move. So you'll notice when I go in here, I'm going to do that piecing that we spoke about. So I'm going to come right back here, and I kind of want this to hug her neckline right in through here. This is where you can go in with a shear. And they've got a 5 and a 7 inch swivel shear, which if you haven't ever tried them yet, you are definitely going to want to start. So you can go in here with a real sharp line just to get a little bit crisper of a line, or you can go in back with your razor and just detail out kind of what you want this to be. This is a great place for you to personalize it just for what you're going for. With the piecing I was talking about, we'll go in and just kind of scoop out little sections of hair. And you know, this is the thickest part of hair on her head is right here at her nape. So I have license to do a little bit more than I would other areas just because she's got more hair to work with. This is going to be what kind of sets you out from every other hairdressers. Little things don't mean a lot, they mean everything. So keep that in mind as you're working with your guests and giving them just what they deserve. Okay, she already has a front fringe pretty well in place. So I don't want to do a compression cut where I go in and actually take more length than I need to. So I'm going to take that kind of idea in mind here and over direct this and just kind of go in and take a little bit of that hair off through there. And then come back and grab a little more protein cream here. Always making sure to work with totally dry or wet hair depending on what you're doing. Make sure it's the same. Just we're going to do that. I do want to give her a little bit of lift right here in this front fringe area. So I'm going to pick up on this section. I'm going to do a little bit of weave cutting. So I'm going to come in and just in and out, and then a little bit of a slide cut right up there. That's going to give that shorter hair underneath there to kind of support that long hair to really give her a lot of lift. And then kind of direct it this way. So we've got that done. The last thing I want to show you guys is going to be that framing that's internal we talked about. So you can do on much thicker hair, I would really suggest doing the horizontal framing. Go in, spiny your razor, roll it straight up, and then kind of smooth out and just take a little bit of hair out with you. But we're going to do a vertical framing instead. So I'm going to go in and just go a little bit up and just take just the slightest amount of hair out. Really makes a big difference in your hair. This is that one thing that you'll do at hairdressers. Can't quite pinpoint, but your guests will come back saying, that one thing you did last time is my favorite or whatnot. So always keep that in mind when you're working with your guests to give them a little added bonus, a little extra techniques along the way. And tell them why you're doing what you're doing and how you're doing it, because they're really going to enjoy listening to it. So, all right, we're going to go in and do kind of a blowout here on this and finish her up, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so we've done a blowout on her. We did do some dry detailing within our cut. We went back in with our RZ blenders and we took out quite a bit of the bulk right around here at the ear and right behind it. And then we did a little bit more just within the crown. Just to kind of go over the haircut, we started out once again back in this black zone right in through here. We started in the middle. We took 4 sections going back, carrying our guide with us, and then we also came to each side individually in about 3 sections on each corner. Then we took the back, or black section, excuse me, and brought it to the front green section and took it in panels forward. And then we left out a 1/2 inch all the way around of the black and the green section, and that went right down into the red zone, back through our blue zone, and then we finished up with our red zone. Then we also were able to utilize our vertical and horizontal framing, a little bit of piecing around the neckline. Had she had a little bit shorter neckline, we could have gone in, raised up her natural hairline, and then taken our Surface Titanium razor and actually gone in and actually done her neckline right out the skin, but we didn't really need to do that here. So we started with the Awaken, so we're actually going to finish with that as well. So we went in when her hair was wet, and I added both the Protein Mousse and the Awaken Thickening Cream. These are almost like a wearable treatment. They add protein and fibers to the hair. They actually wrap the hair in botanical fibers, and you wear it all day long. So it's a great way to kind of give your hair a little bit more support throughout the day. Then I'm also going to go in with my Journey Dry Shampoo. Use this right on her scalp. It starts to instantly absorb oils as they form on the scalp. Kind of acting like a 2-day extender for her style. So it's going to work really well for her tomorrow when she wakes up. I'm also going to go in with some Crave styling paste. This is one of my favorites. This is very versatile. It can be used wet or dry. The matte finish for her, I know that's going to be something that's going to make her happy. As a guest, the more that you emulsify in your hand, the whiter it gets, the stronger the hold is going to be. So be careful if you don't want to use a lot of it. Be mindful of that when you're using it to piece out. So I can go in and all those places I know I added texture in, I can go in and kind of find those shorter hairs and use them to benefit my style and make it pop right up for me here. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to finish with my protein spray. She's going to be ready to roll. So thank you so much, Surface's Hair Health. Hello there, my name is Jen Kelly with Surface Hair Care. I'm going to show you today a crop haircut here in the next few minutes. We're going to go in and start by showing you Bridget over here, who's got our roadmap handy already on her head. We're going to start in the black zone. This is going to be where you get the most lift out of your layers. And then you're going to go into the green zone, the red zone, which also means danger, don't overcut, and your blue zone. So we got her here for a reference if we need her. But we're going to go in and find the high point of the head. That's going to be the beginning of your black zone. So just go in, find the high point. That's typically the easiest part. Then we're going to go down to the side ridge on either side in the back. So take 2 of your surface combs and go in, pull them straight together, and that's going to be where you can make your line. We're doing a shorter haircut today, so it's not going to be easy to clip it up as it can be. So we'll just do a real sharp target parting here and keep real clean sections. So we're going to go in here right in this black zone. Switch out here. We're going to use our Surface Titanium razor. We've learned to love this tool. We're going to start right here in the middle of our black zone. Get situated here. We're going to go in. We're going to go straight up and just shatter it out just a little bit. We're going to continue that section on back here. It's going to take 3 to 4 sections to get through your black zone. mannequin has a little bit finer thin hair, so probably do it in 3. You want to keep your sections no wider than your razor. And we'll just go forward to make sure we get it all. Then we're going to come over, we're going to stand directly behind where you're working. So to get the front corner of this black zone, we're going to pull from our middle section, carry it with us, go over and shatter that out. And come all the way down. Surface believes that there are 5 core haircuts. So this being the shortest of all 5, it's kind of nice because when you go in with Surface hair cutting, there's the 4 zones that I mentioned, and then there's also the 5 cuts. Everything else is a trend release based off of one of those 5 haircuts every year. So education kind of is easy to understand going forward from year to year. So okay, we're gonna get down with our black zone right here. We're gonna go directly into our green zone. What we're gonna do is take a 1/2 inch guide from our black zone forward, carrying over into our green zone. So I'm gonna go in here, always working from short to long. So I grab my top section here, kind of with my index finger, like I'm scooping out right here. Just gonna kind of go in real comfortably and just shatter that forward. And come all the way across the top of the head like that. Now, Surface is our salon exclusive hair care until it respects personal health and the earth. So we work with all of their products, their core cutting systems, their education, all the way around. We've had such great opportunities in learning. This haircut should be a good addition to our library of information we've got going on here. So almost done here with this green zone. Okay, so our awesome model we have here. I noticed when I started, she was kind of off to a heavier part to her right. So we're gonna kind of continue with that idea in mind, always cutting the hair with the end result in mind. We're gonna go in on her lighter side and we're gonna take a 1/2 inch section all the way around from our green and our black zone. That's gonna carry directly down into our blue and our red zone. So when I put all this hair right back up, like I said, real neat partings, makes our work turn out so much neater in the end. Okay, so we're well aware that we're in that red zone right through here, so we want to really be mindful of being cautious not to take out too much of our perimeter. You definitely can't put it back on once you take it off. So this is also a chance for us to kind of be thinking about how we want to style her hair. We want to maybe go with an asymmetrical look or more traditional. We can go in and we can go a little bit shorter up closer to the ear. We've also left out a lot of our perimeter so that we can decide at a later point what we want to do with our perimeter. So for right now, we're just working internally. These are descending layers. We work here at Surface with descending, ascending, and then concave layers. So we've got several different opportunities we can decide how to layer. This haircut particularly just works with descending layers. So when I get back here into my blue zone, I really want to work from the crown right down into the nape. Not really too worried about the perimeter, just getting kind of kick out a little bit here and leave some extra length. She had more to work with down here, we could do that. Then later on, you can go back and decide how you want to personalize the haircut just for you or your guests. She's not got much to say, so we're pretty good there. Okay, working all the way across this blue zone. Just really working these layers in. We also know that short hair will push long hair. So by going in, we'll do some detail texturizing later, we'll do some horizontal framing, or in this haircut specifically, actually vertical framing will be what we'll choose to do, but I'll show you guys both. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and stop for 1 second and make sure. Flip this hair directly over. Having a plan of attack is always good because you can always start and stop and know right where you left off. So I want to make sure I had a clean parting there for my 1/2 inch section from my green zone down into my blue zone. Now we're approaching that red zone. Here we are, once again, gonna be cautious. Now I do want to leave some added length on this side. I'm gonna show you a couple more tips and tricks there. So we're gonna be a little less aggressive with our cutting here on this side. Okay, so we've got all the internal workings done of our haircut. We can go back and do a couple different things now. We're gonna go back and you can take a shear if you'd like to. You can go in, you can actually bring this up from the ear and kind of kick it forward a little bit if you want to, or use a nice shear. We've got a 5 or a 7-inch swivel blade shear. The thumb actually swivels right here. These shears are probably my favorite tool that Surface offers. You can go in, you can cut to your left and or flip over and cut straight to your right as well. So these are kind of nice if you're wanting a little stronger edge. You can also go in and do what's called piecing. So we can go in, I kind of wanted to hug her neck a little bit and kind of come like wrap right around. So we'll go in and just piece out a little bit with our razor freehand here. Kind of makes it feel a little bit more artistic. Can be that one thing that you do for your guests that they'll say, it's that thing my hairdresser does that they're not sure what it is or why, but if you share it with them, they'll always note it from you to an extent. So let's go back in here. We talked about the vertical framing. You can do it one of two ways, vertical or horizontal, as I mentioned. Always go with the spine of your razor into the hair and roll up. You can real gently shave off a little bit of hair for the horizontal, but we're gonna do vertical. So I'm gonna go in almost just like a pencil and come straight up vertically and add these shorter little pieces in here just to give a little bit more support to your style. So we're good there. Couple detail things I like to do with my RZ blender. I like to go right in here, get the right tool here, guys. Okay, so if I go in right here where it's a little bit on the heavier side, you can just hold the hair, collapse your shear, and just kick straight out. That's just gonna go in and kind of break down that corner, not be so heavy. I wanna keep the length intact, but I wanted to go in and just kind of take out some of that weight. So I like to use a few different tools to kind of get different texture going on within the hair. Now on the other side, I'm gonna go back to my razor. We're gonna do a couple things. We're gonna go in and right here to open up the eye, I'm just gonna pull this top section back. Space does create lift, so I wanna make sure and incorporate that into my haircut today. So I'm gonna go in here and just take my razor and right here at the eye, just kind of open that up, leaving that first corner intact though. I just want to go right here at the eye and open that up just a little bit so you can kind of see how it kind of comes towards her face. So you can do that on both sides. And you can also do that with the shear. Let me show you that too, just so you know. If you're going to do that, you want to kind of stand by your guest, almost like you're going to be resting your elbow right on top of your guest's head. So come in here, you're going to turn your shear down. You're going to come right in and just do a little bit of that. And then you're gonna kick right back out so you don't take that corner. That's gonna give her quite a bit of lift as well. Okay, last thing we're gonna do is the fringe. So we notice that she's got quite a bit of a fringe line already. You can go in and decide, you get 1, 2, or 3 turns of your Surface TK2 comb to let us know how thick that we want her bangs. She's gonna be about 2 turns in, so we know that's gonna be about how much of a fringe she wants to go with. So we're gonna take this in. We don't want to do a compression cut necessarily. She's got quite a bit of hair already that's been cut. So we're just gonna go in, we're gonna take this over, we're gonna over direct it, we're gonna actually cut to our right in the direction we want the hair to go. Just so I can swing it back this way. Over direction here is gonna give her obviously less mannequin, less of a strong cowlick here. She would get a little bit more of that bend and nice swoop going on right through here. So the last thing we're gonna do is go in and do some weave cutting. And that is going to entail us isolating those bangs one more time. And we're gonna go in here, weave in and out, and then just take that top layer and just kind of bend a little bit of that hair out. That short hair is gonna support that long hair. So when you get in there and style it right out, you're gonna be good to go. So this would be our Surface crop haircut. You can see I left this one side quite a bit longer. It's gonna be a lot more fun for me to kind of piece that out when I get to my style side of things and then give her a little bit more, maybe like a swoop back on this side. She'll have all kinds of options there. So Surface is hair, health, and art. Thanks so much.